Welcome to Trading Essentials channel. In this channel we are dedicated to help traders who are still struggling to become consistently profitable traders. The topic we're going to discuss today is how to trade effectively using MACD. Before we expand the content, I would like to ask you to do me a little favor by subscribing and opening the notification bell so that you may be notified when our new video is released in the first place. Before I started the content of my video, I would like to explain to you the tools I will use when trading. I would use MACD, support and resistance and trend line. I would not recommend using indicators alone when trading. My advice is to use indicators along with price action so that our trading performance will be greatly improved. A lot of new traders like to use a lot of indicators alone as a judgment, but they forget that these indicators are calculated from the price. So using only a variety of indicators alone to trade is a misunderstanding for many traders who have just entered the trading market. I've tried different strategies about MACD, but I've found the most effective and simplest one is MACD divergence. Now let's explain the easiest way to use MACD. First of all, we need to look for the trend on the bigger time frame. The time frame we need to look for must be a 4 times relationship. If we are trading in 1 hour chart, we will go to the 15-minute chart to look for our entry opportunity. If we are trading in a 5-minute chart, we will go to the 20-minute chart to look for the trend, and then look for MACD divergence in the retracement of the trend. It's a very simple strategy. Now we are looking at a UDCHF 4-hour chart. We can clearly see that the price is constantly creating new lows. At this time we can first define the downward trend on the bigger time frame. We can also notice that the price in the process of retracement back to the previous resistance. Now we can go to the 1-hour chart of this position to find whether the price has a trading opportunity. We can clearly observe on the 1-hour chart that the price is moving higher, but the MACD does not continue to move higher, which means that the strength of the buyer is starting to become weaker and weaker. Of course, we will not directly choose to trade when notice MACD divergence. We will wait until a clear signal to trade. It is not difficult to find that the price broke through the previous higher low. This movement also shows us that buyers have given up, and we can clearly observe the traces of sellers beginning to intervene in the market. It is a good opportunity for us to trade, because we already know that the power of buyers is gradually weakening. So, once the price breaks through the previous higher low, we may trade directly. Now we can see that the price successfully reaches our profit target. This trade brings us almost 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first confirmation is that the price is in a downward trend at a bigger time frame. The second confirmation is support and resistance. The third confirmation is MACD divergence. And the fourth confirmation is that the price broke through the previous higher low. Now what we see is the 4-hour chart of XAUUSD. First, we can easily see that this is a downtrend. After we confirm the trend at the bigger time frame, we need to observe whether the market has given more signals to confirm for us where we are considering to trade. Now we can observe that the price retraced to the previous resistance. We can also draw the trend line clearly at this level. By this time, we already had a lot of strong signals. Finally, we need to go to the smaller time frame to find a better entry position. On the 1-hour chart we can observe that the MACD shows a divergence. The price is hitting a new high, but the MACD does not continue to move higher. We can also notice that the price gives a very strong engulfing candle in the range we are focusing on. If you are a more aggressive trader, you may choose to trade directly in this area. If your trading method is more conservative, then we can wait for the price to break through the previous higher high before we considering to trade. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first confirmation is support and resistance. The second confirmation is the trend line. The third confirmation is the engulfing candle. The fourth confirmation is that the price has broken through the previous higher low. And the fifth confirmation is MACD divergence. Now we are looking at the 4-hour chart of crude oil, and we may notice that the price is not actually in a relatively complete trend, but it is not difficult for us to find that the price is running upwards slowly. In this case, we are also acceptable because we can at least judge the direction. We can also observe a clear trend line below the price on a bigger time frame. This is already the third test of the trend line. In the previous video I have explained that the third touches of the trend line represented fixing point and verification point. Now we come to 1 hour chart looking for our entry position. We can observe that when the price touches the trend line, the MACD presents a divergence situation, which shows that the strength of the seller here is gradually weakening. Not only are the sellers weakened, we are also seeing signs that buyers are starting to involve into the market. At the time of this candle close, we already have a lot of evidence that there is a good chance that the price will run upwards. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first confirmation is trend line. The second confirmation is the MACD divergence. The third confirmation is the engulfing candle. What we looking now is the 4-hour chart of XAU-USD. This chart clearly tells us that the current trend is in a downtrend. Although we can't see too much information on this chart like support and resistance or trend line. But this chart has told us to try to follow the downtrend. A lot of the new traders like to trade against the trend, so they have been losing. As long as you can find the trend and find a good way to enter the market, you can avoid a lot of unnecessary losses. I've even seen a lot of traders looking for the top or bottom of a trend all the time, which is a very wrong idea because no one in this world can perfectly and consistently predict the top or bottom of a trend. So the easiest way is to follow the trend and take the advantages of the trend. Now we come to the 1-hour chart where we can see that the price is making new highs at the time of the pullback, but we look down at the MACD and instead of creating new highs, the MACD shows us with a new low. This is what we commonly call MACD divergence. Aggressive style traders can choose to trade directly after seeing the signal of the engulfing candle. And if you are a more conservative trader, we can choose to trade after the price breaks the previous higher low. With this way we have more advantages, but we sacrifice some risk-reward ratios to gain more certainty. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first confirmation is that the price is in a downtrend at a bigger time frame. The second confirmation is the engulfing candle. And the third confirmation is that the price has broken through the previous higher low. The fourth confirmation is MACD divergence. We can find that this is a good trade. What we are seeing right now is the 4-hour chart of ETH-USD. And the first thing we have to judge is the trend, which is obviously a very strong downtrend. When we see such a strong trend, we need to know that at this time, buyers are reluctant to get involved into this market. So the momentum of the pullback is not the same as we usually see. We can see that the strength of the pullback is very weak. So how do we trade at this time? At this time, we need to go to the smaller time frame to look for some typical patterns or some other information to confirm whether there is any trading opportunity. Now we come to the 1-hour chart. We can see a typical pattern, which is the rising wedge pattern. Now we may look down and see that the MACD is already in a very strong divergence. The price is constantly hitting new highs, but the MACD shows its new low. At this time, we can wait for the price to break through the previous higher low. The time when the price breaks through the higher low in the trend line is a good time for us to trade. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first confirmation is the downward trend on the bigger time frame. The second confirmation is MACD divergence. The third confirmation is the engulfing candle. And the fourth confirmation is the breakthrough of the previous higher low. We are now looking at the 4-hour chart of BTC-USD. This chart clearly tells us that the current trend is in a downtrend. But in this chart, we are not able to find too much information. So, we can only go to the smaller time frame to find out whether the current market has any information that is beneficial to us. Now that we come to the 1-hour chart, we may notice that the price is creating new highs, but the MACD has not created a new high. Instead, MACD show a new low, and it is very obvious. This is a very favorable message for us. What we need to do now is to wait. We need to wait until the price break through the previous higher low. Once the price breakthrough is when we need to get involved into market. We may use this information from the market to create a situation that is beneficial to us before considering trading. This will greatly reduce the risk of the market to us, but also create a profitable space for us. Let's summarize how many confirmations there are in this trade. The first confirmation is that the price is in a downward trend at a bigger time frame. The second confirmation is MACD divergence. And the third confirmation is that the price has broken through the previous higher low. In the end of the video, I would share some mindset sharing. The more experience you get in trading, the more you appreciate your losses. A lot of times we don't learn from successful cases but from failed cases. Learning from your failures is the most important process on your path to success. Your losses teach you lessons. If you learned some value from our video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. See you in my next video and hope you guys have a winning streak throughout the week.